Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the People Processes podcast. Let me start with something I saw this week that stopped me in my tracks. An HR manager posted on Reddit. She just became the first HR person at a small business with about 90 employees. The owner had been handling HR himself and, by his own admission, doing it quite poorly. When she started digging in, she found that not a single employee, not one out of the 90, had a verified I-9 form. When she told the owner, he said, "I never heard of that. I'm not sure that's something we have to do." The top comment on that post with over 100 upvotes, "This is more common than people think." It's very common. We do HR audits every week, companies just like this one. And after doing hundreds of them, I can tell you the compliance gaps are often the same. But here's what surprises people. The compliance stuff, that's actually the easy part. The expensive part, the part that's costing you quietly $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, is the stuff you don't even realize is broken. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what we look for, what we find, and what it's costing you. So, first up, what we ask. When a company comes to us or we walk into a situation like this Reddit post, the first thing we do is our strategic HR audit. It's a questionnaire that covers 18 domains of HR, takes about an hour to fill out, and it asks questions most companies have never even thought about. We cover everything: recruiting, onboarding, performance, compensation, legal compliance, risk, culture, training, retention, communication, your handbook, timekeeping, leave, payroll, offboarding, and analytics. It's 18 domains. It's about 140 questions. And here's what's telling. It's not the questions that you get wrong. It's the questions that make you go, oh, we never thought about that really move the needle. So a couple examples that maybe step out to you. Do you have separate personnel, medical/confidential, and I-9 files? And do you have them in 3 separate places? Most say no. That's a compliance issue. Are interviews structured with standard questions and scoring rubrics? Again, most say no. And that's how you get bad hires. You can easily increase your ROI on labor by hiring better. Do employees attest to accurate time each payroll? Many say no. That's huge wage hour exposure and so easy to fix. Do you have state-specific handbook addenda for each local? Right? For each place. If you're in California and Florida, you need different policies for those states. Most companies have one handbook. Some have no handbook. Who reviews the compensation for offers? Who designs them? The answer is almost always the owner or manager judgment. There's no pay bands, no market data, no process. You're hiring wrong. Do employees have individual development plans or a training program that's unique to them? Almost always no. And they wonder why people leave and aren't growing. Here's the pattern. We see it every time. The owner has been handling HR, or their office manager, who originally started ordering the toilet paper when they had 5 employees, is now in charge of hiring and firing. They do payroll and compliance themselves, and the answers to our questionnaire are almost always, nope, we don't do that, or not sure, or I don't know, maybe the owner does it. It's not a criticism. These are good people running good businesses. I've been one of them. They just don't know what they don't know. That's the whole point of the audit. So we take those answers and we produce a report, and that report has 2 parts. The first part is what you'd expect. The second part is what surprises everybody and is actually worth its weight in gold. So part 1 of the audit output is what we called identified deficiencies. These are compliance risks, and we rate them critical, high, or medium. So I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. A critical example would be something like multi-state compliance violation. It's a big one. You got employees in California. You need California-specific policies, wage statements, meals and rest breaks, tracking, attestation for breaks, harassment training. A single disgruntled employee in California can file a PAGA claim. That's the Private Attorneys General Act. And that's $50K per employee. Easy. It's not total. It's per employee. We had a recent audit company with 13 employees, small company. They were in Florida, Georgia, and California. They had 0 state-specific policies. 0. That's a ticking time bomb. It's so easy for some attorney in California to go pick up $300,000-$400,000 grand. They get to keep 33% of it, right? They're going to be happy, or even 40. It's a non-issue for them to get you over the barrel on that. Managing HR in-house is overwhelming. That's why we built the People Processes Advisory System. Start with our free HR resource library. Get instant access to policies, guides, and compliance checklists. The templates are just the beginning. Run our strategic HR audit to scan all your key domains for your people processes. In just a few hours, we'll work through and identify your compliance gaps, and my team will generate a custom roadmap for you, meet with you, and show you exactly what to fix step by step, ready to execute. Use our toolkit to generate job profiles, deploy policies, track employee documents. You're not alone. You're backed by a 5-star expert team supporting over 10,000 employees nationwide. Be your team's secret weapon. Visit advisor.peopleprocesses.com to start your free account today. High examples, job descriptions. These aren't nice to haves. These are required. Without job descriptions, you can't defend FLSA classifications. If you've classified someone as exempt and they're doing non-exempt work, that's back over time. This is $150,000 in misclassification exposure. Wage hour compliance gaps, mixed timekeeping methods, no overtime policy, no meal break tracking, employees not attesting to their time. Each of these is a separate exposure, easily $25,000 to $75,000 in a small company. Huge one, independent contractor misclassification. You got 1099 contractors who should be W-2 employees. A single reclassified contractor earning $60K going to cost you $25,000 to $35,000 in back taxes, penalties, and interest. Multiply that by several contractors, and you're looking at 6 figures fast. So these are some examples of those critical and high-level things that we put out. That's the part people expect. They come in thinking, I bet we have some compliance gaps, and yeah, they do. But then we show them part 2 of the report, and this is the part that changes the conversation. And as that HR manager new to the business, your owner's thinking, keep me out of the doghouse, right? Keep me compliant. And that's true. But you got to transition to what this is really costing you, the ROI opportunities. The audit doesn't just find what could get you fined. It finds what's costing you money you didn't realize you were losing. We call these Labor ROI Opportunities. This is where the big numbers are. Let's talk about some basic ones. There's tons out there, but structured onboarding, a 30, 60, 90-day system. Most companies we audit, new hires show up, they get a laptop maybe or a pack of paper, they get a tour, and then it's sink or swim. Time to productivity is easily 120 plus day. A structured onboarding program could bring that down to 60 days. If you're hiring 6 people a year, that's $30,000 to $50,000 in recovered productivity every year. If you're not sure what all that means, it just means that by focusing on that onboarding, you can get employees who will stick around longer and move faster and better and make better decisions. And those are huge dollar figures. And if you're new to HR into this, it's probably a system that can use some serious revision. Similar to that, before you even hire them, a hiring process. If you're winging your interviews, no standard questions, no scoring, no process, your mishire rate is probably 30 to 40%. Each bad hire costs you $25,000, $40,000 when you factor in recruiting and training and lost productivity, the cost of doing it again. If you can drop that mishire rate to 20% with a structured process, that's $30,000, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a year you're going to save. Stop just burning it in the trash can for no reason, even if you're just hiring 3 or 4 or 5 people a year, right? So let's get that structured hiring process. A career ladder. When employees don't see a path forward, they leave, right? Huge costs. Automated timekeeping. If your timekeeping is mixed, some people on paper, some on an app, some on the honor system, you've got major wage and hour exposure, and you're not able to get the insight you need in order to better structure your business. That exposure can be eliminated and give you better insight so you can potentially avoid burning out your best employees, save on overtime, all those kind of things. Strategic benefits. This gets people all the time. A competitive benefits package, health, retirement, PTO, can reduce your wage premium you're paying to attract talent by about 10%. On $1 million payroll, that's $100,000. So just taking a minute to review all your benefits. And then another thing we miss, formalized mission, vision, and values. I know that sounds very soft, but companies that can clearly articulate who they are and where they're going retain a lot more employees per year than those who can't. At $25,000, $50,000, $75,000 per replacement, that's real money. Every company we audit has $100,000, $200,000 in risk exposure and wasted money, and another $100,000 and $200,000 at least. These are small 10, 12 person companies that have that in labor ROI opportunities. The audit's just kind of a flashlight. It shows you where the money is going and where it's being lost, okay? Where it's at risk. So what happens after that audit? And again, this is how I would do this if I were being brought into an HR company myself. Start with that questionnaire, work through and those pieces, and then you got to sit down with the owner. In this case, in our clients, it's you and me, and we review every finding, every deficiency, every ROI opportunity. And here's what's important. You help prioritize. The owner helps set priority after you identify the problems. Because I don't know your business the way you do. What's keeping you up at night? What matters most for your growth? Are you about to raise money? Are you expanding in a new state? Are you hemorrhaging turnover? This changes the priority order. We build that prioritized action plan together, what to fix this month, this quarter, this year. And then some clients take the roadmap and run with it. Our strategic advisory service can support them with coaching, tools, training, check-ins, lots of great stuff, document organization. We can help. Or they can just take an audit plan, pay for just that, and go and figure it out on their own. That's no issue either. And then some clients, look at everything on that list and say, I want this handled, take care of it for me. And that's our complete HR offering, where we become your full outsourced HR department. And again, we do this every week. Step in, take over, and get them rocking, or step in and be there for your support, or just help you identify the issues. Either way, the audit is the starting point. Whether we're doing the HR, you internally are doing the HR and stepping in, you can't fix what you don't know about, and you can't prioritize what you haven't measured. So get in there and do that. The Reddit post I started with, that HR manager who found 0 I-9s, she's doing this work manually by herself with no roadmap. Imagine if she'd started with an audit that told her, here are your 8 biggest risks ranked by severity, here are the 8 biggest opportunities ranked by ROI, and here's the order to tackle them. That's a very different first 90 days. So here's what I want to do. I've been talking about this process for the last, 10 minutes or so, and let me prove it to you. There are the first 10 companies that reach out. If you've got 10 or more employees, I'm sorry if you got 5 or something, guys. There's a lot of free resources in our app. I recommend using them. Of course, you can always email me, but for those of you who have more than 10 employees, up to, say, maybe 1,000, I will personally do your strategic HR audit for free. This is normally $1,000 to $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000, depending on the size of the company. You fill out the questionnaire. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half. I'll review it. I'll make a preliminary plan, and then I'll sit down with you one-on-one for about an hour, walk you through your deficiencies, show you the ROI opportunities, and give you that prioritized roadmap that we work together on. No obligation, no sales pitch, just the audit and the meeting. First 10 companies. Here's how it works. You're going to go to advisor.peopleprocesses.com. That's in the description below. Sign up. It's free to create an account. If you're going to go in there, you have guides and all kinds of stuff from all of our prior episodes. But once you're in, navigate to the audit section, select the strategic HR audit, and then it's going to calculate a price for you built on the company size. Enter the code EP67 audit, episode 67 audit, Echo Papa 67 audit. And it'll bring the price from whatever your tier is down to 0. First 10 people who use the coupon code, that's it. One exception to that. If any of you know someone, if you know the person on that Reddit thread, or you can get in touch with them, you drop this episode to them or whatever, even if the 10 coupons are done, that person wants to reach out to me, they are welcome to email me, call us, whatever. I'll be happy to do theirs for free as well. I just thought that Reddit post was great. Now, I've also put together a self-assessment version of this audit in the description. It's a scorecard you can fill out yourself. You still go to that advisor.peopleprocesses.com site, go from here. It's going to show right at the top. You can download that. It allows you to score your company across all 18 domains, see where you're strong, where you've got gaps, a risk calculator to estimate your exposure. Download that. Even if you don't sign up for the audit, it'll tell you a lot. If you haven't watched our episode 64 on new hire reporting, watch that next. That's one of those compliance gaps we find in almost every audit. And episode 65 on stay interviews, that's one of the great ROI opportunities we recommend to almost every client. My name is Rhamy Alejeal. I hope this was helpful. If your company never had HR, you're not alone. This is way more common than you think. And the good news is it's very fixable. Don't HR alone. Go out there, have a great day, and get your work done. Reach out to us if you need any help, and I'll see you soon.